Hello and a very warm welcome to British Royal Daily Updates YouTube channel. The signs are increasing every day about what Meghan Markle will do next, but there is one big drawback to her ambitious plan. It was in the last days of 2017 when the music stopped, when the peony photos and the perfectly angled Panama hat images and the Italian sunsets disappeared. For good, actress and Canadian fashion brand ambassador Meghan Markle was about to marry into the royal family, and so, with history calling and tiaras ready to be worn, she said goodbye to her overexposed personal Instagram account. Money, fame, influence. She would never have to struggle to climb the slippery ladder of social media again. How ironic. Now, 5 years later, we have almost daily news that suggest that the Duchess of Sussex is ready to come back to Instagram any moment now. News that should scare peony plants everywhere. The evidence is piling up, daily. Last year, she told journalist Alison P. Davis, "Do you want to know a secret? I'm getting back on Instagram," but then she reportedly changed her mind and put the plans on hold for a while. The mysterious @Meghan account is believed to be hers, and it is currently attracting thousands of followers every day. It has gained more than 110,000 followers this month alone, even though she has never publicly acknowledged it or posted anything at all. In April, the Duchess joined the huge talent agency WME, who said they would be focusing on building out her business ventures across multiple facets, including brand partnerships. This week, Page 6 reported that the 42-year-old has been in talks with a number of brands to work with, and is especially keen to sign with luxury jewelers Cartier in connection with an Instagram relaunch. Never one to be left behind. The Daily Mail has reported that she could make up to $1 million or $1.55 million, per sponsored post, with the sound of cash registers ringing loudly in the background. It seems inevitable that Meghan will return to social media soon, and the only question is when. The most surprising thing is that it took them so long to get to this point after leaving the palace. But, hold on a second. Let's take a breath. Because I'm not sure that launching @Meghan is a smart move. Meghan could lose more than she gains. Once the Duchess of Sussex opens this specific can of worms, there will be no easy way to close it. For Meghan, and her husband Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, their biggest, if not their only real, asset is their royal status. That he was born into a family that can trace their ancestry back to the 9th century and people like Ethelflaed, Lady of the Mercians, which sounds like something from a fairy tale. But that royal status, that royal magic, is a delicate and intangible thing that will be completely endangered if they go for the sponsored content route. And once it's gone, it's gone. The Sussexes currently live outside of, and above, the celebrity world. They have a uniqueness that distinguishes them from your average A-lister. There is a huge difference between someone like Kim Kardashian, whose fame, wealth and incredible influence is based only on her, or her mother's, cleverness, and a woman whose global fame is entirely due to her marriage into an ancient institution, that is based on the idea of inherited privilege. But, the moment that @Meghan goes online, like a reverse Cinderella story, they will turn themselves into ordinary pumpkins, no better, no worse than some bachelor runner-up who wants to get some of that sweet teeth-whitening sponsored money. In early 2020, Harry's cousin Peter Phillips was rightly criticized for the embarrassing ad he did for a Chinese milk company, emphasizing his royal connections, the whole thing so tacky it almost looked like a joke. Do Harry and Meghan really want to follow this same path of cheapness? Sussex is for sale? One of the risks of the Duchess of Sussex suddenly appearing on Instagram to endorse luxury watches or to become the face of Dior or to advocate for the health benefits of hemp milk, is that it will seem like a clear attempt to make money. These kinds of posts might be mixed with lots of photos and videos of her and Harry showing compassion, them consoling the most attractive disadvantaged children or restoring some African delta while holding hands, but nothing will hide the fact that one of the reasons for her Instacom back would appear to be cash. The case could be made, why should she not profit from her relation to a family who treated her as coldly and harshly as a walk-in freezer? And if that's what Meghan wants, then, fine? Go for it, girl, etc. But the implication needs to be that once the Duchess is in the hands of Big Turmeric or getting paid to wear $900 t-shirts, she will permanently be joining the Kim side of the table. The other aspect to this is, besides the occasional sponsored post, An Instagram account requires content, it needs to be updated frequently to keep the like fires alive. If Meghan, or Meghan and Harry, start sharing their daily matcha lattes and random sunsets and cute videos of the Duke taking out the trash, they will be welcoming the world into their Montecito bubble. Contrary to what half the world and the writers of South Park think, Harry and Meghan have never said they want privacy, but in leaving the royal game they clearly wanted to have more control over how much of themselves they were expected to share with what Edmund Burke called the swinish multitude. With a new social media account of her own, the Sussexes might have much more control over what parts of their lives they show to the world and when and how. But, like the pigs in Animal Farm, once we the public are in their house, so to speak, invited by them, can they ever really kick us all out again? Underlying all of this is the question, when this filtered, hashtagged New Jerusalem arrives, is this actually the life that Harry wanted, them turning themselves into content, anew and forevermore? So too the question. If TikTok is completely surpassing and outperforming Instagram in terms of users and the trillions, yes, trillions, of hours of use, is the Duchess of Sussex gambling and risking a lot on a bit of a weak horse? Still, in 2019, when Harry and Meghan launched their independent charity and new Instagram presence at Sussex Royal, they gathered 1 million followers in 6 hours. I would wager good money that when a manicured finger somewhere in California, soon, hits the big button and Meghan goes live, that record will be forgotten. In the time it has taken me to write this story, the account gained 1,000 more followers. Remember to subscribe to British Royal Daily Updates YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell, this way you will be notified when we drop a video. Stay safe. Prince Harry has released his latest Netflix project. But there is a glaring omission that shows he is deliberately ignoring an inconvenient reality. I often feel like I've seen this before in my job. I barely recovered from watching the almost 6 hours of anguished grimacing and syrupy iPhone snaps that composed Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Sussex's first Netflix documentary series, when the Duke returned. He's back on screen, back on the streaming service, and back to making the royal family seem as outdated and irrelevant as he can. On Thursday, Eat, the Duke's Heart of Invictus documentary series premiered. 5 episodes following the path to the 2022 Invictus Games in The Hague and the personal challenges and journeys of a few of the participants. Be prepared, you will need tissues and lots of them to watch Heart, because it is, alternately, deeply touching, distressing and powerful. I cried over and over again, sobbing like a Temu kettle. It's worth watching just for Ukrainian volunteer medic Yulia Tyra-Payevska. The footage she recorded inside a frontline field hospital is perhaps the most impactful and haunting thing I have ever seen. But we are not here to discuss these amazing people and the resilience and strength they demonstrate constantly, but about Harry, the executive producer, and what looks like a very intentional effort at some DIY historical rewriting. There is one thing that is almost completely missing. That is neatly avoided, and entirely glossed over in Heart of Invictus, the essential role the royal family, and Harry's belonging to that family, has had in the Invictus story. If someone were to watch Heart without knowing anything about the games, then they would leave this series with the firm belief that the whole incredible thing was made by a man named Harry who has kids and dogs. The same Invictus origin story is repeated. Harry goes to war in Afghanistan, is sent home after a second tour, and then decides to do something to help veterans and service members. At this point in his life, he says to the camera, "All I was trying to figure out and navigate was, I have this platform. I just had this experience. What can I do with this? What does he mean by this platform?" He never explains. The words royal family or monarchy are barely mentioned in all of Heart, if at all. I completely missed them. The second episode begins with archival footage of him delivering a speech at the 2018 Veterans Mental Health Conference at King's College London, and clips of him hosting the 2017 Buckingham Palace Garden Party for the Not Forgotten Association, which supports service people and veterans. The R word, royal, is completely ignored. When I joined the military, mental health, mental illness, was a taboo word, Harry says in Heart. One of the things I'm proud of is the work Invictus competitor David Wiseman and I did giving talks to people inside the military. If there's a stigma within the military, then there will be stigma within society. So if we want to end the stigma within society, we have to set an example. And if someone didn't know any better, they would think that it was Harry and only Harry who within the royal family had taken on the issue of mental health and pursued it with passion. But that is not the whole story or the complete picture. Not by a long shot. William and Kate, the Prince and Princess of Wales, have been completely erased from the story of the royal family and mental health work. One of the first organizations that the princess became patron of was children's mental health charity Place 2B, and she later added the Anna Freud Center and Maternal Mental Health Alliance. It was not just Harry but his brother and sister-in-law, the three of them equally and together, who used their joint royal foundation to launch Heads Together in 2016. That same year, the three of them posed for amusingly goofy photos wearing headbands to support the initiative and also released a video of them sitting around a picnic table in Kensington Palace's private gardens talking about how it started. "It was your idea," Harry tells Kate. The princess then says, "Because it's a common theme, mental health seemed to connect all the different areas we were working in.